When was the last time you took a leap of faith, trusting that everything is going to work out? Do you crave growth, or are you merely content with the status quo? If you want more out of your life, out of your career, and out of your relationships, you are in the right place. Take the leap and discover how to create a life by design rather than living it by default. Real success starts with you. Now here's your host, Colleen Biggs.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Take the Leap. I am your host, Colleen Biggs. And as always, week after week, we bring amazing guests, and today is going to be like no other. I'm really excited for you to meet Myrna Atha. She is someone I was introduced to from my good friend Julie Jones several years ago, and she really is what I would call unemployable. That's going to be our subject today, unemployable. What does that mean? You're thinking like, what does it mean to be unemployable? Well, we're going to dive into that in just a minute. But before we get to that, I do want to thank our sponsor of today's show, Ally Spine Center in Scottsdale, Arizona. And what sets their office apart from other offices is their focus and expertise in treating degenerative spinal conditions, including disc disease, bulging, herniated discs, spinal stenosis, neuropathy, sciatica pain, tingling, and numbness in the arms, hands, or legs and feet, as well as severe and chronic back pain and neck pain and headaches. Oh my gosh, I am just exhausted even thinking about all of that and the pain that some of you are in. So they specialize in corrective care, not just the treatment of the symptoms. That is where they're different. So they use physical medicine modalities, and in many cases, they do pre and post images and are used to help determine the structural improvement of the spine. I am actually a customer of theirs. I have been there. They have corrected my neck. So I am a huge raving fan. So if you're someone who's suffering from neck or back pain or any of those 1,000 symptoms I mentioned earlier, and you have not experienced chiropractic in an integrative corrective care office, please make sure you contact either Allie or Chris over at the Ally Spine Center at 480-809-4700. Now, you might say, I don't live in Arizona, so how does that help me? Well, they know about corrective care offices all over the nation. So you can visit them at allyspinecenter.com or contact them again at 480-809-4700, and they'll get you connected with a corrective care center in your area. That's the most important thing. No one should be struggling with all that pain. I'm just saying, I couldn't even imagine getting up no, I can't imagine, because I did. And I went in and I got corrective care done. And I'll tell you, I had gone to do like the symptoms for a long time and it didn't work. They even put like a huge needle in my neck at one point for a shot. And I was like, never doing that again. So I actually got it corrected. And now I wake up every day feeling amazing. But it did take work and I had to go visit with them. So make sure you call them. Okay. Myrna's here today. Super excited to have her on our show for episode 156. And she has had 3 decades of experience of working with women in e-commerce business. Now, they have a combined earned of over 135 million. Love so much about her is that her bio says, I'm unemployable. My mission is for you to be too. I took a winding road to get to this place, and I want to help you get there faster than I did by leveraging a business model that has worked for thousands of years. She started off like so many other women in corporate landscape, and like many others, she became delusioned because her life seemed to be passing her by. We had a little story we talked about the other day, so we're going to bring that back today. That's when she decided to make some radical changes, and she really felt like those were necessary for her to become unemployable on purpose. So she said goodbye to her career as a senior leader in corporate, and look at where she is today. Myrna Atha, welcome to the show.
Oh my gosh, so good to be here, Colleen. I love your audience and your community, and what a great opportunity to share. I appreciate being invited.
You know, this is a fun platform because a lot of our audience still works in corporate America. So this is a good platform for you to be speaking on because they're dental hygienists, they're in the corporate setting. We have gentlemen that listen to this podcast. So I know that you had told me we did a Member Monday spotlight for you. So for anyone who is wondering where that's at, you can go see that on my LinkedIn page. You can see that on my Facebook page. So go to Colleen Biggs and you'll find it out there. You talked a little bit about where you were at a kind of a low point in your life. Do you want to share that story? Because a lot of people might hear, oh, she's helped women make $135 million and she's a seven-figure earner. Good for her. They almost feel like you're on this pedestal and what you've done is unreachable. And how could she ever help me? She makes millions of dollars. Well, I think it's important to share where you came from because
Yes.
when I say I was homeless, people are like, "You what?" I'm like, "Oh, my life hasn't been so rosy."
Yes.
So explain a little bit, like, where were you and your husband, like, at the lowest point of your life where you were like, how did we get here? What is happening to our life?
Yeah. You know, just you asking me that brings emotion, Colleen, because you're right. A lot of people look at Mark and I now and they think, oh, Mark and Myrna, whatever they think. But they don't know the pain that we were in 1994. So, folks, here's the truth of it. I mean, it's interesting that right now in 2024, 30 years later, the world is in a similar place as to where we were in 1994.
Mhm.
So we were living in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. We're both Canadian, and Mark was in real estate. I was a district sales manager for Thrifty's jeanswear stores. Prior to that, Lady Foot Locker. So that's going to date me a little bit, but we all remember Lady Foot Locker. And we were going through a recession.
Mhm.
And we found ourselves in a situation we never thought about. I mean, we were 28 years old. We got married in June of 1994. For that year prior, Mark was really struggling, not selling any homes because banks were taking them back. I
Mhm.
actually just read something yesterday that said, you know what, it's starting and it's going to get a whole lot worse all over again because of the situation, people are finding themselves in today.
Yeah.
So inflation is rocking our world. And for a lot of people, just like us, again, back in 94, a secondary income is no longer a luxury, it's
Yeah.
becoming a necessity.
It really
So,
is.
right, we were in that situation. We were sitting back going, okay, holy crap. Like, this is not good. I mean, good thing Mark's a great cook because he knew 100 different ways to make potatoes, carrots, and onions because that was our staple diet. Okay. You can relate to that. And my
I was more like ramen noodles and I'd put an egg in it if I had extra money.
fancy, you got the
Yeah,
eggs.
I got real
No.
fancy. Hmm.
Well, and it's crazy to think back to that, but my little blue car was 3 blocks away because the bank was looking for it and I needed my car to be able to get to work. And so, what were we going to do?
Hmm.
What was out there? I mean, getting another job, right? Or two jobs, which again, a lot of people are finding themselves in that situation today. Really tough for any of the moms out there. I mean, if you need childcare, because then you got to take a look at, okay, well, can I afford the childcare as opposed to going and, making that additional income? Does it even make financial sense? So it's all this
Yeah.
stress,
And
right?
it's really gone up. Like my daughter just told me the other day, I'm watching her kids this weekend because they're going away. So she said, I'm putting them at Creme de la Creme, which is a really nice preschool daycare that her kids had gone to before they went to school, but they're on spring break.
Right.
So she said, I'm putting them in there for the day. It was 125 per kid for the day for them just to go to daycare for me to then pick them up when I'm finished. And my product costs in my other business, I just contacted my other partners. Our product costs have gone up 14%. Well, they've doubled. Our product costs have. So that tells you the cost of food
Yes.
doubled.
Yeah.
I don't
Well,
think we realize how it's just creeped up and creeped up. Like if I can get a dozen eggs for $5, I'm like, whoa, that's way cheaper than what I was spending $10 for eggs. So I'm thinking five is cheaper when wasn't eggs like $1.99 at some point? Like what am
yeah,
I missing?
exactly. Exactly. Well, and we can expand on that because that's exactly in 94 where we were at, those same
Yeah.
feelings, that worry and thinking, what can we do? So Mark, God bless him. Thank goodness I'm married up, Colleen, because let me tell you, he's a smart guy. And he said, you know what, Myrna, I think I'm going to run this ad in the Globe and Mail newspaper in Canada. It's like USA Today. It goes coast
Yeah.
to coast. My Canadians listening in will know exactly what I'm talking about. And it was three little lines that said, I'm an aggressive entrepreneur looking for business ideas. And quite honestly, I looked at him like, are you out of your mind? Like all these crazy Yahoo people are going to send you stuff. And they did. Okay. That certainly happened. But he said, you know, Myrna, let's just take a look. He set up a PO box. He received over 300 responses from that ad. And we got to work. Mark got to work, and he started, going through that process of elimination. And we had this list that we put together. We called it our wish list. Like
Yeah.
if we could find something that had this and this and this and this and this, there was a half a dozen or so things on that list. Then we would do a deeper dive and a deeper dive and a deeper dive. And that's exactly what we did to find the perfect business that we could partner with. And what I find now with so many people looking for that side hustle, that e-commerce business perhaps, is they don't do that. Like maybe some friend of theirs is doing something and having some fun with it. Doesn't mean they're making money with it. Right. I mean, and you're a business lady. I know prior to doing everything you're doing today, you took a look at what kind of business model would work for you. And also, what skill set do you love that would lend itself well to going out on your own?
Yeah.
And so I think that most people, unfortunately, don't really do that. They don't really, if they partner with, a company, let's say a direct sales company or something like that, they don't really look at the viability of that business and the long term.
Yeah.
Right. So again, 3 decades, who does anything for 3 decades and still loves it and makes an everything living at it. Right. So, back then, did I think I was going to be doing what I'm doing today? Absolutely not. Right. Because we were looking at a necessity. And right now, people are looking out of that necessity.
Yeah.
But I have to tell you, within, maybe 6, 7 months, I realized how much I loved what we were doing and how my skill set from being a leader and a district sales manager and wanting to mentor and coach people. I mean, that skill set really applied perfectly to what I would do in my business to grow a massive, massive community and database of customers.
Yeah. It's kind of like when I talk about franchising, and you and I have talked about this and how I feel like it compares, because I love franchising because it's, the product that's proven in a box, really ready for you to learn how to sell it, how to market it, how to grow it. You're supported along the way. And I feel like it's the same thing in what you're doing is you're supporting every single one of these individuals that need a second income. And then they have to decide, do I want to do this part-time? Is this something that eventually I would like to leave my job and I would like to become unemployable and do this full-time? Right. Those are the questions they have to ask themselves, and diving into understanding more about behind the scenes of what's happening in the business. I think you mentioned on Monday, like opening up the books to say, like, how much, is this company in debt? Does this company, are they debt free? Do they share the back end? Can I see, I know a lot of women that have been in direct sales, and they don't even know, like they'll come to want to hire me. The first thing I say is, don't you have a great mentor and upline and someone that's coaching you and meeting with you on a regular basis and helping you understand clarity on, this is your goals, these are the next steps, this is what you need to do this month, this is exactly what you need to make this month, right? Usually it's so very clear. And when they say, no, I have no clue, I think, oh, wow. Like they don't have anyone in their line helping.
Well, and I've experienced, just in the last few months, Colleen, I've had some amazing women join my team that have experience in multi-level marketing and direct sales. And, I do want to mention that that's not what I do. So just so all of our watchers know, I'm not in direct sales. I'm not in multi-level marketing. I get compared to that all the time. But take all the things that you don't like about those business models and get rid of them And that's what I do.
Yeah.
I don't
Which
have to
is
do any of those
awesome.
things. So I have this great gal, Laurel, and Laurel spent just shy of 10 years with one of those companies,
Yeah.
this amazing skill set. But she just wasn't being paid what she's worth. And that company's gone through a lot of turbulence over the last few months.
Mm-hmm.
Also had to bring in investors because they're not making any money. They're falsely sharing what their revenue is. And you wouldn't have to bring in investors if you were really doing what you said you were doing.
Right.
Why would you, right? And then another gal, Rebecca, recently joined me. And you know what? She was with one of those companies 30 years ago. And she built a massive business. And then she actually walked away because she just didn't feel good about some of the things that they were being asked to do in their
Yeah.
leadership roles. So I hear a lot of that going on in that industry right now.
Yeah.
And there's so many amazing women. Gosh, when they come with me and that skill set, I mean, Laurel's earned more income in the last 90 days that what she did all of last year with
Wow.
that multi-level marketing company. And again, remember, she was like, well, just about 10 years with them. And on top of that, listen, she's like you, she's a mom of five. She has other business interests. She's not 40 hours a week with me, right?
Mhm.
She's probably 15 or 20. And it's already changing her life. I mean, they're both Rebecca and Laurel, they're in tears because they can't believe what they've found. And they don't have to pay me as a coach or a mentor. My company actually pays me to mentor these women. It doesn't come out of their pockets. So the other great thing about what we have to offer is there's no large investment. We don't
Mm.
have inventory. We're not salespeople. We're really like educators. So I just teach people how to be wonderful at inviting people to the information. Let
Mhm.
me deliver that educational overview for them so they can leverage their time and actually be part-time and still make high 5 or 6 figure income because it's
Yeah.
about leveraging. So I don't tell people, listen, quit what you love. I'm like, again, that secondary income
Yeah.
become a necessity. Let's get that skill set you have really working for you. And it's so much fun. I mean,
Yeah.
you got some of the ladies on my team, Julie Jones, I got
Yeah.
our Julie brought us together. I'm so blessed to have her a part of what we do. I mean, there's
Yeah.
so many folks like Julie that are very successful at what they currently do, but they also know I need to have my hands in more than one place.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it all.
Yeah, I think that's really what we're talking about today
Right.
is financially, if you looked at your financial status and are you feeling stressed, right? Do you feel like you need a second income, but you really don't have a lot of hours to dedicate to that? That's the conversation they want to have with you. How many hours do they have to
Right.
dedicate to something like that? And when we talk about becoming unemployable, what shifted for you when you and your husband got into this business? What
Mhm.
shifted for you? For both of you, because I'm assuming both of
Yeah.
you have become unemployable.
I honestly, it was really two things, everyone. It was um realizing what's possible,
Yeah.
realizing that I'm good enough. And I'll never forget the day that I called my boss. It was actually at Lady Foot Locker. And my father passed away at 54. Okay.
Wow.
And he had cancer and he'd gone through treatment, came out of that, a couple years went by, and again it appeared, right? A lot of us have experienced this. And sometimes
Mhm.
these things happen in your life to really help you sit back and look in the mirror at who you are, what you're doing, what you're passionate about, and what your value is.
Yeah.
And so I'll never forget it. I was in Edmonton, in my home office. And my mom and dad lived in Regina, Saskatchewan. And the doctor got on the phone with my sister and I and said, you guys need to come. And my sister also lived in Edmonton at the time. That's about a 10-hour drive. He said, you need to come because we're going to have a conversation with your parents and let them know that treatment is no longer working. And, they need to get their affairs in order, basically. So I called my boss and I said, listen, here's what's going on. I need to leave tomorrow morning. And again, remember, we're 1994. We're going through a recession.
Mm-hmm.
Sales are in the gutter, right? It's
Mm-hmm.
terrible. People are not walking into the mall buying new tennis shoes just because they feel like it. And it was tough. It was really, really tough.
Yeah.
The year before, I was actually number one in the entire country. So I had a great track record. And I thought I had this amazing relationship with my boss. And I'll never forget it, Colleen. I was on the phone and she said, Myrna, okay. She said, so, but here's the thing. Do you really feel as though you can afford to take time out of your stores right now? And I just went silent. I mean, tears pouring down my face. I could barely breathe.
Mm.
And I just said, I have to go now. And I hung up the phone and I sobbed and I sobbed and I sobbed. And I thought to myself, after all the years, I've been with that company since I was 15. Okay. So now
Mhm.
I'm like, mid-20s, like 10 years later. Is that really what I'm worth? Like, you're going to ask me if because sales are down, I should be looking at that rather than going to see my father, who's going to be told tomorrow that they're no longer continuing treatment.
Yeah.
I got in the car. I left with my sister. We went through that experience. It was really, really tough being with my mom and dad. My dad was in total denial. And that made me sit back and question
Yeah.
what my next move would be. Now, did I think it was going to be here? No, absolutely not. I had no idea. I had absolutely no idea. I had a grade 12 education, no secondary education. I didn't know what I could go do, but I knew I needed to figure something out. I didn't know when, I didn't know how.
Mhm.
And then again, fast forward, you guys now know, married Mark, ran the ad. This is 3 years later. And I realized that I could take that skill set and what I love, what I was passionate about, helping other people, working with them, developing them, leading them. And I could do that here and design my life on purpose and do exactly what I wanted to do,
Yeah.
when I wanted to do it, and who I wanted to do it with. And listen, within 12 months, I earned 6 figures. I earned $136,000. That was between
Great.
August of 94 and August of 95. That's 30 years ago. I earn a lot more now. But as you said earlier, just in our team that we've helped earn 6 figures or more, they've earned $135 million. Like, so never
Yeah.
mind me. Look at all the people we're bringing with us. Mark and I were talking about some of the things we wanted to do in 2024. This is back in November. I always start planning early. And I said, you know what? We always hear people saying the term, I want to leave a legacy. I said, heck with that. I want to live a legacy. And Mark's like, right. Like, what we want to do is bring as many people with us while we're alive, okay,
Yeah.
that we can, and earn a great lifestyle,
Love
design
that.
our lives on purpose,
Mhm.
share our life with others, lead by the front. And so they can see what a life by design looks like
Mhm.
and how we can help them do that as well.
Yeah, that's beautiful. And that sounds fun and
Yes.
refreshing. And it doesn't feel like you feel captive to money or worried or stressed.
Right.
And becoming unemployable is just that. You feel like I'm in control and designing my life every day, which is what this show is about. What are you
Yes.
doing to design your life every day to live it the way you want to live it? So if you're that person right now that's saying, I am stressed over money and I do need to make more money and I really don't know what to do. I've tried all these crazy fads that are on TikTok and all the things that they say I can do and work 3 hours a day. That's not working. I'm just
I,
being honest.
yeah.
You need to contact Myrna. Like that's what you
Yeah.
need to do. So I know you have a website that we have here and your
Sure.
LinkedIn. How would you like them to connect with you?
What couple ways, everyone. Like, first of all, I'm on LinkedIn. I'm all over LinkedIn, super active in that on that platform. There's a
Okay.
great community there. Myrnaatha.com is my website. And there you're gonna see my side hustle checklist. So what I've decided to do is go back to that wish list that I had 30 years ago because it hasn't changed. Right. It's still the things that people should consider and print that out, print that out, take a look at it in the things that you should be looking for a side hustle. And, last but not least, everyone, I just want to say, I guess, reach out. Don't be afraid of conversation with me.
Mhm.
I've got a lot of experience. And if nothing else, you know what? We can become new friends. You know what? You might decide to take a look at my educational overview and you might decide, you know what? So not for me. Kind of doubt that'll happen, but you never know. Okay. Even from a customer point of view, I know, Colleen, thank you for being one of our customers as well. I know we love everything we have. But just come have conversation. Let's have a coffee together on Zoom, or if you live in the Arizona area, I'm in Scottsdale, we can meet for coffee or lunch. I really believe that you're only one conversation away from connecting with someone that can change your life. And I'm a connector. I am very, very connected
Same.
to the community. I might know someone that's perfect for what you need. If it's
Yeah.
not me, I bet I know somebody in my Rolodex that really you will connect with. So
Yeah.
reach out, don't be afraid. And I hope that I'm going to see some folks at the event next.
Yeah. So March 22nd is the Empower and Elevate conference. And then we have it November 15th again. So it's November and March. And I guarantee there's going to be so many women there that you haven't met yet when you walk in the door. It won't be a repeat. There'll be a few repeats from the previous one because there's new speakers, new panelists, new vendors. So it's like a new room. So that's why it's done that way. They're not repeat, but I'll tell you that for sure. It will be a great room for you to be in. So if you're thinking, I want to become unemployable, but that seems so far away, but can I just take that baby first step? That's where I'm going to say, go to LinkedIn. Myrna Atha is who you want to contact with. And myrnaatha.com is also another place. We have those links for you right here. And remember, you're the only you that's ever been, and you're the only you that's ever going to be. So if you're like, I don't want to die living the life I've lived now, like this isn't a legacy, this isn't where I wanted to be, you can change that. As much as you think you can't, you get to design your life however you want to design that. So you get to do that today. And I know that Myrna has an email at myrnaatha.com. So we have that available for you as well. Please reach out to her, connect with her on LinkedIn. This is a chance for you to make some money and get a second income going. And then you can decide at that point, do I want to move this into something bigger? But at least get started in something that's proven, that's not going to be another fad that just comes and goes, right? Because you've been with it for 3 decades. So 30 years is a long time.
Not going anywhere.
Yeah, you're not going anywhere. I mean, this is it for you, right? This is it for y'all. So,
Yeah.
Myrna, thank you so much for being on today's show. You are such an inspiration to so many women out there. They want to be able to get to the point where you've gotten to, where they're able to assist others in making that much money and being able to live their legacy. But you have to make the decision that you want to do it, right? The decision has to be made. We can't force you and put your arm behind your back and say, come on, you can do this. You've got to reach out to Myrna yourself. So you can reach out to me as well at info@colleenbiggs.net. I can connect you with Myrna, and I'm just so glad that she was here today. I'm so excited that you're going to be at the event. You bring so much value everywhere you go, as well as I know that your cup will be poured into that day as well. So we're really excited to have you as a guest. All right, everyone. Thank you again for being with us today. Thank you again for making us Top 1% podcast globally. And to all of our loyal listeners out there, remember, be you and be strong. Until next time, bye-bye for now.
Thank you for joining us on this journey of self-discovery, where you learned the tools to create a life by design. Remember, you are the only you there is, and you are the only you that will ever be. Be you and be strong, because you are brilliant, and the world needs you at your best. We cannot wait for you to join us again next time.